Well, here it is folks, the Korum S23 Deluxe Mark II. Today I'm going to be giving you my honest review and honest opinion about this chair, because there is one thing with this chair that lets just everything down, because at the same time this is one of the best chairs I've ever had, but it's also one of the worst chairs I've ever had. Stay tuned, get subscribed to the channel, it's free of charge, and let's get into the review of the Korum S23 Deluxe Mark II. These chairs are around about £175, £174. As always, I will be putting the price on screen for you lot. To be honest with you, I don't think that's a bad price. You are getting a lot of chair for the price, in my opinion. It is made really well, you know, and one thing I do want to say that I've really enjoyed with this chair is just how high the back goes on this chair. When I sit on this, it literally comes perfectly up to my head, and I'm just over 6 foot and it is so comfortable. It is absolutely lovely. I don't know, you just feel very cozy, and when you're doing long sessions, this is the chair for you. You know, if you're doing a long session and you want ultimate comfort, this chair is just next level folks. It honestly is. I'm gonna get into one thing that lets this whole chair down, and I think I saw a few comments on my previous Korum. I had, if you remember, I had the Korum S23 Mark II standard one. The frame never slipped, it never slid down the frame, it was perfectly fine and everything. And I think you know what I'm about to say. The frame unfortunately slips on this. It does. I'm gutted, because I absolutely love this chair. I have no qualms with it whatsoever, apart from something else that I'm going to talk to you a lot about, but again, it's nothing major. However, this could be a massive deal breaker for you. Now, there may be some people out there what's bought this chair and it doesn't slip, because like I said, my other one didn't slip. But for some reason, this slips. Now, where I've noticed it, it seems to be at one side. It seems to slip from this back right-hand side here. And I've had it before as well, where if the chair's too far forward, the front end slipped. And I can tell because with the gap from this to here, it's literally gone all the way down to that gap there. Now, as you lot know, I have the barrow kit for this chair, and one way I've found to sort this problem out, I mean, it's not really sorting it, but it sort of, you know, gets rid of the problem a little bit, is I'm going to flip this around. That is where these brackets, you have to screw these on. Now, when I've got the wheels on the back of this chair, essentially when that frame starts to slip, it'll sit on the wheels. Now, I've monitored this and it doesn't seem to affect the wheels, because you've still got the support of the legs. It just means that the frame can't slide down anymore. And I have seen people saying you can get like brackets, you know, you can get, essentially what a lot of people do, they'll buy the Korum square adapter, slide it down and then put like a circle clamp on it. And I've heard other people saying they drill it, but again, you shouldn't really have to be drilling a chair, and you'd have to be very careful the way you drill it. So essentially what I do, I get the perfect height, because once you've drilled it, that's it. You could drill more holes and then you can get like these little silver bars you can stick through things. It's hard to explain what I'm talking about, but a lot of you people will know what I mean. You sort of drill a hole, you put a metal bar through, and again, it would just, this bottom bracket would just sit on this. So that's one way of doing it. It's just a shame, innit? It's just a shame that nothing's quality checked, because this can't have been quality checked for me, you know. And the way I did this, I just did a bit of editing on my iPad, and I noticed, I felt my sen going, one minute I was like upright, the next minute I thought, I seem a bit further back, and I looked, and that's when I noticed that it did slide down. It's just terrible, and honestly folks, I really tightened the tighteners up on this. I honestly did. Speaking of them, you have Korum logos on them. This is adjustable, this back. It literally goes in all sorts of different directions. You can lay really far back, and you can also sit very upright. And on the side of the little tightener, there's like a rubber badge with a K on for Korum, and that has started to come a bit sort of loose as well. That's just because it's not stuck down properly, and it's just these daft little things where I think, has it actually been quality checked? Or if it has been quality checked, it's not been quality checked to the highest standard, in my opinion. And when it comes to a fishing chair, you need it to be perfect, because let's be honest, it's one of the, apart from a rod and a reel, it's the most important bit of equipment that we have. Now, this does come with telescopic legs. They're so easy to use. All you do, you get the chair at the right height, you loosen off the telescopic legs, and they literally slide out like that. And then all you do is you give them a good tighten, and that is pretty much that. Now, I've not noticed these to slip, I don't believe, but these are very good because you don't have to mess around with the actual, with these legs. That was one thing I did really like about this version compared to the other one. Now, with the other Korum chair, the standard edition, there was no such thing as telescopic legs on them. You had to pay separate money for them, which I didn't agree with. And that is something to worth note with this one. You are getting the telescopic legs with this chair standard, you know, straight out of the box. On the legs, the same as the standard Korum one, you've got the gold threads on it, so if you want to have any attachments, so maybe you've got a feeder rod, you can literally put a butt rest on it and do it that way. Something that I really do like about this, and I just think it's absolutely brilliant, is you do have arm rests on this, and I absolutely love these things, because on a lot of fishing chairs that I've had in the past, normally you'll be sat on the chair and you'll not have armrests, and sometimes, I don't know why, I just go to put my arms on like a rest. I think it's just, there's just something comfortable about it. Normally I'll just have them down there. I don't know, it's just something comfy about having them. And the armrests are very good. They've got plenty of padding in, and they do feel really good quality, and they are very nice. You can take these off if you want, I believe. You sort of move a clip and they'll move backwards. So if you didn't want the armrest, say if there was like in your way or something like that, you can always move that clip and just move them out the way to make life a bit easier. I do want to talk about the headrest, because this thing is brilliant. The headrest on this is so comfy. You have very nice padding and it really comes out. And believe you me, when you're sat in this, it is just ridiculously comfortable. And also you have padding on the back here, and it does feel very premium. This is why I don't quite understand the daft little things like the, you know, the little rubber logo on the side, and obviously the frame slipping, because everything else does feel top notch. It really does. And as you fold this chair up, the arms will sort of go with it, which again I do like. You have some nice Velcro straps. This is for when you fold it up, you wrap them around the armrest, and essentially when you're walking with it, the back of the chair won't swing out. Don't get me wrong, it does have a little bit of play in it, but it won't swing open and go everywhere, so that is something to worth note. And with this one, it has the same solid frame as the normal S23 Mark II, with sort of like you put this metal bar in this little clip, and it just feels very solid. And honestly folks, I do think it is a solid chair. With the frame, it's solid. You know, I've had this one now for probably a week or two, and again it gets chucked about a bit. You know, us anglers, we have a way of just chucking things about, and that the frame has been good. Again, people have mentioned on the previous video that I did on the other chair that the frames are not very good. At the minute, I've not found this. Hopefully that won't happen in the future if I decide to keep this chair. Everything's been very, very solid like that. And again, comfort is something that I want to reiterate with this chair. If you are looking for the ultimate comfort, this is the best sort of like feeder chair ever. You know, with that high back, and not only with the high back, the bottom bit comes very far out, whereas on the normal S23 it felt a bit short and it felt like you were a little bit on the edge, whereas this one, it comes so far out and it's dangerously comfy. You know, when you're sat there sometimes you literally want to nod off, folks. You could honestly fall to sleep in it. I am going to show you how this adjusts and that, and the different levels of adjustment. Now what I like to do with these little tighteners, I just move them till they don't turn anymore. It literally goes, that's how far back you can go. So say if it's a nice hot summer's day, you can sort of go deck chair. Then it comes to the other, you have like these little teeth, kind of like in the Chaplain chair, that just sort of lock into place. And again, it comes forward to the end. I believe, I'm trying to line it up with the teeth, that's how upright you can sit. So maybe you have a bad back and you're one of them people, you like a good posture, you can have it at that level and it'll be real good. I tend to have it round about here. Again, I've not noticed them slipping. They've been very solid. And like I said, I've leant back on it and everything and it's not gone nowhere. The weight of this, I can't quite remember off the top of my head, but I will put it on screen. This is a weighty chair. It is, it literally is. I mean, it's not the heaviest chair. I can pick it up with one arm, but it's not the lightest of chairs. And if you have a small car, it's going to be difficult to maneuver in it. You know, I have a Ford Focus and sometimes I have to like get a bit of maneuvering to get it in. I can't obviously put it in long ways because it won't go. So I have to tip it on its side when it's folded up and slide it in. But again, it does take a bit of maneuvering. So if you do have a small car and you don't want to be, you know, messing about maneuvering chairs, you're probably better to go with the standard model over this one. I want to go into a bit of detail as well about the legs. Exact same legs as what's on the standard Korum S23. So you can have all the great attachments, like the little rod pod thing that I have, the nice side tray. And one really good thing with this, when you have the barricade on, you can fit loads and loads of stuff on. Because of the high back and the arms, you can just put things against it and nothing's gonna tip anywhere. Whereas with the standard model, I did find sometimes it was difficult, like you were like, oh, things were nearly tipping over and that, and it were a bit annoying. Whereas with this one, because of the sheer size of it, it just feels more solid with the barricade. So if you are gonna get a barricade, it works a lot better with this one than the standard model. And one good thing as well, when you have the barricade, if you are putting your rods on this, you can literally use the Velcro like that and slide your rod in there. So when you're sort of going over bumps and things like that, the rods won't move anywhere because they're fastened into here. Just make sure they are going up like that at an angle and not downward, because as you lift it, they might have a tendency to slide that way. So it weren't only useful for obviously when you pack it away and fold it away, it was useful for when I was using the barricade of putting the rods on. This does fold up quite small, folks, I will be honest with you. It folds up nice and neatly, the legs go down and everything. It does fold up well, it's compact, you know, it's not bulky to say the size of the chair. Right, unfortunately, due to the absolute terrible British weather, I've had to come under a nice tree to film the rest of this video because it's raining quite badly sort of out there. So that is one good thing about Ravenfield Ponds. If it does rain, when you're filming, you can get under a tree and take some shelter. So yeah, the next thing I'm going to talk about is the feet with this chair. It has the sort of like 360 mud feet, which is really nice. Again, it just makes things a bit easier when you're on uneven terrain. You know, the feet will adapt to sort of any terrain that you put it on, and that is great. You know, the adjustability of this chair is fantastic. It really is, and it's great if you're tall like me, because like you can hire it, you know, you can have it nice and high. You don't feel cramped on it. That is one thing. As I'm talking now, it don't seem to be slipping, but it definitely will. When you sit back and all your weight's on the back of the chair, that's when it seems to do it. But as I said, when I'm sat here now, it's just so comfortable. If you ever go to a tackle shop and you sit on one of these, you'll know what I'm saying. The comfort of them is ridiculously good. I'm literally sat on uneven ground and you can see where the foot's sort of like twisted to one side and it's leveling everything out on the terrain. I'm a bit that way mainly because of the telescopic leg. I've got it a bit longer on this side, but yeah, and you're very comfortable. Like I said, I can rock back and forth on it and stuff, and with that frame, with that bar clamping down and just keeping everything nice and secure, it does feel absolutely solid as a rock. And another thing that I want to mention, I don't usually mention this in my videos, but I thought I'd mention it because it's raining today. What's the material like when it rains? Well, it does dry pretty quickly. It's a nice material, very smooth fabric, and it will dry, you know, it will dry as quick as anything. The material is great and again, made well. So then, would I recommend this chair? No, I wouldn't. And it's the simple fact that that frame slips, it does. And there's probably going to be people out there that have got these S23 Deluxe chairs where the frame doesn't slip, and you're one of the lucky ones. However, mine does, and I can only go on what I've bought. That's the thing you're always going to get on this channel. You're going to get honest reviews, and it is what it is. At the end of the day, if you make a product, and especially if you're charging up near £200 for it, and it's got quality issues like this, to me, it's just not good enough. It really isn't, because, you know, you'll be sat there fishing away, you know, you're watching your quiver tip, or you're just looking at the scenery. One minute you're upright, the next minute you think, I feel a bit far back here, and then you look and you see that the frame's slipped, and it's super, super annoying. If it does get better over time, maybe the seals need to wear in, I don't know, maybe I need to use it a bit more. If it does, I will revisit this chair and I will change my opinion on it totally. But I will be doing more testing on it without the wheels and seeing whether it does slip or not. If you can get one and you know it's not going to slip, or maybe I've just had a bit of a dud one, then yes, if you can get this chair and it doesn't slide, buy one of these, because honestly, if comfort is something you're after, this is going to be hard to beat, because it is such a comfy chair and I just love it for its comfort. And as I mentioned before, you're getting them awesome S23 attachments, which are just, they're absolutely brilliant, let's be honest. And then, like I said, now when I put my head back on this, you know, this nice padding, oh, it's dangerous, folks. It really is dangerous. It's very, very nice. And when you've got this scenery as well, oh, it makes for a very nice, relaxing day. So that is pretty much it for this review on the Korum S23 Deluxe Mark II. If you did enjoy this video, make sure you leave a massive like on it, share this video around, post your comments down below what you think of this chair, and get subscribed to my YouTube channel. It's free of charge, doesn't cost you a penny, and if you're fishing, have a good one.